Hello YouTube, Elmas to show up here, and I have for you guys today another really good showdown battle that I had a few days ago. And for those of you who don't know, by the time this will be up, I'm probably going to be in San Antonio, Texas with a bunch of other YouTubers at PAX South. So the next couple uploads are going to be pre-recorded, so I hope you guys don't mind that. I don't know if I'll have enough time to be able to put up a PS Live while I'm gone, but when I come back, I promise you guys I will definitely be uploading those again more consistently. But for right now, Showdown replays are easier for me to do and do save me a lot of time. So again, hopefully you guys do not mind that. And of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, then make sure to hit the like button down below. One like can definitely go a long way. And for those of you who don't know, currently in RU, Dragology, Mega Pidgeot, and Superior are actually being suspect tested. So let me know what your guys' thoughts on that are in the comment section below, because me, I don't know, I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. But just, yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are of that in the comment section below. So yeah, looking at team preview, this battle I believe was against one of my subscribers, because he did notice me. So man, if you watch this, then please leave a comment down below, let me know. And his team is actually kind of scary, because Dragology is a big problem to my team. If that is Banded Emboar, it can definitely put in some work as well, so I'm going to have to watch out for those two. If that is Rain Dance Ludicolo and I lose my Cresselia and my Electros, it could potentially sweep me late game. One major nuisance to my team is Bronzong, because the best move I have to hit it with is Knockoff from Hitmonlee and Flamethrower from Electros, which don't do much damage considering that Bronzong is very bulky. So all in all, he had a pretty scary team going into this battle, especially if he does get up spikes and rocks with Bronzong and Qwilfish accordingly. So I'm going to be leading off with my Electros, expecting him to lead off with the Bronzong, but he actually ends up leading off with the Ludicolo. So what I'm going to do is just straight up go for the Acid Spray on the off chance that he did want to go for the Rain Dance, but it turns out that he goes for the Knockoff, which I was not at all expecting, as this turn I'm going to Volt Switch, predicting him to want to switch out, as I can now get a free switch into my Hitmonlee. I am adamant max attack, so I'm very positive that this Knockoff is going to do a great amount of damage, as he decides to go for the Protect. Although he does know I'm going to knock off, I'm still going to go for it either way, because I really lose nothing in doing so, as he just barely survives. He's going to go ahead and go for the Gyro Ball, which is actually going to be very beneficial to him, because now my Hitmonlee only has one last attack left, as he actually decides to bring in the Qwilfish. I found it a little bit odd that he brought in Qwilfish and not Doublade. I'm guessing he thought that I would switch out if he brought in Doublade, which probably would have been the case. Because, well, actually no, I probably still would have left in Hitmonlee on Doublade if he did want to bring that in, so he couldn't get up a Swords Dance. And then I make just a terrible play. For some reason, I found it smart to high Jump Kick, thinking it would do more damage than Knockoff. But if I had just knocked off, I guaranteed damage, and I would have prevented this Qwilfish from gaining recovery throughout the remainder of the battle. So yeah, that was a tremendously terrible play on my part. Luckily though, it doesn't change the outcome of the battle. So I'm going to get a free switch into my Electros as I Volt Switch right into my Gligar. I know this may seem a little bit odd, but Gligar is the best thing to come in, take a hit from Dragology, and still be able to get off a good amount of damage with Earthquake. So that was my thought process behind this. I knew that Gligar would not be taking a Choice Banded Flare Blitz coming from Emboar either way. So by bringing it in here, I can apply offensive pressure or force him to switch out into Ludicolo. And then if it does come down to that, I can bring in my Electros or even bring in my Mega Sceptile. So what I'm going to do is just go straight for the Earthquake, as he actually leaves in the Dragology, thinking that a Scald would be enough to knock me out. And because I am able to outspeed him, what I'm going to do is actually just go ahead and get up my Stealth Rocks, just to be able to ensure that extra residual damage on his team. And on the off chance that he did bring in Ludicolo, thinking I would go for the Earthquake, as he knocks me out with the Ice Beam, I can now get a free switch into my Dragology. The reason I did this is because I knew the Dragology, with its great special bulk and the amount of HP EVs I have in it, would be able to live in Ice Beam, and I really didn't want my Sceptile to come in, for some reason not knock this out, and then lose my fastest Mon on my team. So ultimately, Dragolgi thankfully does live the Ice Beam, and in return, I will be able to knock out the Ludicolo, which actually caused me a lot more trouble than I was expecting. As he brings in the Emboar, I'm very scared of the fact that he could go for the Earthquake, so I'm going to switch into my Cresselia as he makes a nice play, and he just goes straight for the Flare Blitz, and then he gets the burn, which at the time was a little bit upsetting, but honestly, it's not really that important considering that he does have Doublade, and my only offensive move, because I am a sub Calm Mind Cresselia, is Moonblast, which of course Doublade resists, and even at +6, I really wouldn't be doing too much damage to Doublade. Most Doublades carry Swords Dance anyway, so he could set up the +6 on my Cresselia, then proceed to sweep me. So I really only needed Cresselia to take hits from this Emboar, and that's what it's going to do. Even though he did get the burn, it's still not that big of an issue considering that I can easily keep taking them, and the fact that he's only doing 36%, I'm really not too sure what item he's carrying, because I don't think that's banded damage. I guess maybe it could be Flame Plate, I'm not really too sure there, but I'm just going to stay in Moonlight, just trying to wear down Emboar to the point where I can guarantee that a Moonblast will be able to knock him out. As he brings in the Doublade, this was utterly terrifying, because I thought, crap, I've lost, because after a Swords Dance, Doublade could potentially just sweep through my team after I lose Gligar, and I lost Gligar fairly early on in the battle, not fully thinking about the fact that he had a Doublade right there. I just was more fixated on getting rid of Dragolgi and getting up my rocks, and that was just a really poor play on my part to have lost my Gligar like that. But then again, Dragolgi, as I mentioned, was a huge problem to my team, and he's now opened up a window for Doublade to possibly sweep me. So he is going to go for the Swords Dance as I switch into my Electros. He actually ends up going for the Sacred Sword and not the Shadow Sneak, because I did run a damage calc, and even at +2 at the amount of HP that I was at, I would have been able to live the Shadow Sneak. As he finishes me off with the Shadow Sneak, I can now bring in my Sceptile, and I was really not expecting my Dragon Pulse to actually knock out this Doublade. Then again, I am modest, I don't really know if that played a factor in here, but because I was able to get rid of that Doublade, I pretty much ensured myself the victory, because this Qwilfish can do nothing to my Sceptile, as he actually ends up going for the Thunder Wave. That extra boost does not really matter whatsoever, because he most likely couldn't have broken my sub either way, because he told me he didn't have a poison type move, so I still would have been able to KO the Qwilfish, most likely still knock out the Dragolgi, and because I was behind a sub, even if Emboar lived one Dragon Pulse, I could have knocked him out with the second Dragon Pulse. So yeah, the fact that it went for that Thunder Wave was not game changing in the slightest. So thankfully, Sceptile coming through and saving me there at the end, because that Doublade probably would have just destroyed the remainder of my team if my Dragon Pulse had not been able to knock him out. And just, yeah, all in all, I thought it was a really good battle, so hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button down below. And to answer the question of the day, what are your thoughts on the suspect test of Superior, Mega Pidgeot, and Dragolgi? And with that being said, guys, I will see you all tomorrow, so thanks for watching. Later, everybody.